Okay, we're going to go to our line graph part of the birch tapping. So you scroll down to the graphing underneath Alaska Science Projects and the birch tapping. We're going to hit the graphing. And we did the last two graphs right here. There's an instructional video for this graph and this graph. These are the two data charts. So we graphed this one and you did these two you're on your own, and then you did the power drill on your own. And now I'm going to teach you how to do the final experiment with about the temperature, and we're going to make a different type of graph called a line graph, which you've done with Mr. Cook in math. And this chart really does a nice job collecting the temperature data, and we'll be able to show it nicely with a line graph. I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's go to our camera. And here we go. So what we have, you're going to make a line graph that's similar to that. It's going to have 4 different lines on it for the different size spiles. I'm going to go from scratch on how to make it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our X and Y axis. So we're going to go like this. We're going to number our ounces. We're counting by tens: 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. We will label this ounces. And down here we're going to label this high and low temperatures. And what are we graphing? We're graphing temperature ounces. We're trying to figure out what the high and low temperatures, what produces the most sap. Okay, so if we go back to that temperature chart, remember we're on the NOAA website. We found all the temperatures right here. I know that graph is hard to read. I have it here. You can zoom in. What I did is down below here, I made the temperatures, not the ounces you can look in, but the temperatures are supposed to go here. You were going to research that last week and then add this week's. If you haven't done that, I have them all here. This is from NOAA, the high and lows. You can get your data from there when you're making your graph. Let's go back to the camera. So looking at that chart, I'm going to move my picture over here. Looking at that chart, our first day was a high of 53 and a low of 46. And then we had a high of 46 and a low of 37, a high of 43 and 34, 46, 36, 48, 37, 52, 23, 52, 25, 51, 37. And those are our high and low temperatures, and we're going to plot these on a line. If we had a line graph or a bar graph, if we had graph paper, we'd have these on grids, but I'm sure you might not have graph paper at home, so we can just use line paper for now. Okay, so let's use a color. We're gonna make a key down here, and we're gonna use this pink color, and I'm gonna make a box, and we're gonna call this the 1/2 inch spile. Okay, now on the 1/2 inch spile, we saw, if we go back to that chart, the 1/2 inch spile right here, the first one of the temperature is, let's see, 53.46. Sorry, 53.36. We had it at, sorry, are we at the 1/2 inch? We're at the 1/2 inch spile. It's at 30, so you can see the 30 degree or 30 ounce mark there. All of these are now going to be on your graph. So it's going to be 30, 32, 36, 98, 105, 125, 50, and 25 for the 1/2 inch spile. So I'm going to show you how that looks on the line graph. Let's go here. Okay, the first one was 30. And then if we look back, I'm not going to flip back and forth. The next one was 35 because I have them already here. And then the next one was just under 40. I think it was 38. And the next one jumped all the way up to 100. And then it went to 110. And then it went to 130. And then it dropped all the way down to 50, I think. And then the last one, let's see on the board, what was it? It was 35. I'm going behind me. All right, so that is my 1/2-inch spile. You would take your ruler and connect your dots. And that is the 1/2-inch spile. That's what it would look like. So these are all the ounces. So when you look on your chart, we're going to have 30, 35. These are all the days that are there, and I wrote the temperatures down. I'm going to do one more for you. I did one more with them this morning. Let's do the 3/8. So I'm going to use a different color. Let's use purple this time. And I'm going to make my key. And this one I'm going to use the 3/8 inch spile. Okay, now where do I get that data? Let's go back to that chart. That's this column right here. So here we have the temperatures all listed down, and here we have all of the ounces. So we're going to do just this column. Okay, let's go back to the camera. So the first day we had it, it was 75. So we're going to go from there, and we're going to go up to 75. We're going to put a dot. Okay. The second day, it looked like it was 70. Oops, sorry. That's not right. We have 70. What was the next? Sorry, it was 80. I was wrong. It goes up like that. The second day was 80. And then it went down. This day is 75. I was reading them backwards. All right. Then the fourth day, it was 105. So we were about right there. And then we went to 128. All the way up to about here. Then we did 128 again. It's right on the top of the next one, straight over. And then it fell down to 80, which is about there. And then our last day, 63. 63. Okay, so that's the 3/8 spile. Let's see what that one looks like. So you take your ruler. You're going to connect your dots to make your line. And they meet there. There's a meeting point. And there's your line graph. Now we have an easy one. I'm going to put the red one. Remember the 1/8? We have a 1/8 spile, and that all marks 0. So you're going to put a 0 line. That goes all the way there. That's the 1/8 inch. So the only one you have to do is the 1/4 inch. And I want you to add the next line onto it. So if I take this down, you're going to add the third column here, which is the 1/4 inch spile. And you have 23, 45, 50, 75, 70, 128, 75, and the last one is 10. Last one's 10. So those are what you want to graph on your final line, and then you'll have your line graph finished and complete. Next week we will write our conclusion, and we're going to do an experiment with surface area when we're boiling down the sap.